You sit down to work. You open the document. 10 minutes in, your phone buzzes and you check it, just for a second. 90 minutes later, you look up and you cannot remember what you were even trying to finish. You blame the phone. You blame your willpower. You tell yourself you are just bad at focusing. But what if the thing stealing your attention was never the phone at all? In 2009, a researcher named Sophie Leroy ran a series of experiments on something she called attention residue. She had people start one task, interrupt it before it was finished, then move to a second task. Every single time, part of their mind stayed behind. Not the whole thought, just a residue, a faint, unfinished loop still running in the background, quietly draining focus from whatever came next. This is the part nobody tells you. Your brain does not close a task just because you stopped looking at it. If it feels unfinished, it keeps a thread open. And every open thread costs you attention, even when you are not aware it is happening. There is an older name for this. Psychologists call it the Zeigarnik effect, after Bluma Zeigarnik, who noticed in the 1920s that waiters could remember complex, unpaid orders in perfect detail, but forgot them completely the moment the bill was settled. An open task lives loudly in memory, a closed one goes quiet. Now put those two ideas together. Every time you check your phone mid-task, you are not just losing 10 seconds. You are opening a second thread your brain now has to track. And when you go back to your original work, you are not returning with a clear mind. You are returning with residue from both tasks tangled together. Researcher Gloria Mark found that after a real interruption, it can take over 20 minutes to fully re-enter the depth of focus you had before. 20 minutes for a phone check that felt like nothing. This is the counterintuitive part. You have been treating focus like a faucet you can turn on and off. It is not a faucet. It is more like a fire that needs to build heat before it does anything useful, and every interruption puts it out before it gets there. So the fix is not more willpower. Willpower was never the problem. The fix is closure. Before you switch away from anything unfinished, even for 30 seconds, give your brain one sentence of closure. Not a full plan, just enough that the loop feels shut instead of open. Write down the exact next step you will take when you return. That single line tells your mind, this is handled. You can let it go. The residue drops dramatically the moment a task feels resolved, even if it is not actually complete. Try this too. Before you open your phone, ask yourself one question. Am I finishing something or am I fleeing something? Most checks are not curiosity. They are an escape hatch from a task that started to feel hard. Naming that moment does not stop the urge completely, but it interrupts the automatic pattern just enough to make a different choice possible. And when you sit down to do real work, decide in advance how it will end. Not when you will stop, but what marker will tell your brain, done. A finished paragraph, a closed loop, a clear stopping point you choose on purpose, instead of a scattered one that gets forced on you by a buzz in your pocket. You still sit down to work. 10 minutes in, your phone still buzzes. But this time you already know, the buzz was never the real interruption. The unfinished thread you left open was. And the moment you learn to close your loops on purpose, your mind stops quietly working against you.